This is Providence Television International, the game changer.
This is the newspaper analysis on Providence Television International. You are welcome. My name is Ugbebo Ikekwa. We meet to analyze the papers. In the studio today is Dr. Emmanuel Egariba. You're welcome to the studio.
Yes, always a pleasure of mine to be here. Actually, this is the last Thursday for the month of March. By this time next week, we're in April, beginning of the second quarter. I hope that the business community will heave a sigh of relief that this quarter has gone by, because there are no indices for economic growth at all for now. So we hope that the second quarter will be more reassuring.
Well, we'll be starting off today. First of all, we remember there's nobody in Nigeria who doesn't know there is quite some crisis going on in Rivers State, and we now had a situation where a Solad was actually, should I say, appointed there, and matters arising as regards that. The Vanguard newspapers: Rivers Sole Administrator suspends all political appointees. Sir, what does this bode for democracy in Nigeria?
It's the rule of arbitrariness, really, because you have moved all powers, virtually all the powers, into the hands of one man. There are three arms of government: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Now, he controls two out of three. He controls the executive, he also controls the legislature. That is against all norms of democracy, really. And if Rivers State was to have its own constitution, that will mean that the constitution of Rivers State will have been pushed aside. That's what it means. But a lot of people are against this. I'm happy, though, that some people are going to court, and they're going to challenge this. Let's see if it will stand the test of time, whether the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will allow this kind of thing to prevail. We are just waiting, we are watching, but obviously I do not think that it is the right thing to do. Yeah, because if we push all these guys aside, it means that the rule of arbitrariness that is happening, which is not too good.
All right. We would look at a more pressing issue. Dr. Garaba has always talked about strengthening institutions. And with what we have still on the front page of the Vanguard, is it a means of strengthening the electoral institution? Tinubu shops for Yakubu's replacement. Intrigues as dark forces plot to truncate credible polls in 2027, and why President Tinubu should be concerned about the credibility of the polls.
Well, some people will say, we'll renounce to whatever. And then with the exit of the one saying that. But the question to ask really is, should it be the president that should be shopping for a new INEC chairman? I've always said it on this program that we must strengthen institutions. You were right. And that means that the head of the electoral body must be somebody who will not be at the beck and call of the president. Okay? I preferred a solution some time ago that yes, the president will be picked by, or the people really, about 4 or 5 people can be picked by the National Council of States.
Okay.
All right? That these people will be scrutinized thoroughly by the National Assembly and also by the Council of States. And they must be people who have risen above board in their careers and everything. Retired past chief justices of this country, people who are eminently qualified to be called eminent Nigerians. There are many eminent Nigerians who are not qualified to be eminent Nigerians in the strict sense of the word. So we must pull them together and they go through the crucible. At the end of the day, only one will be picked. The president has nothing to do with the choice.
Okay.
Right. So at the end of the day, the man who will be picked, the umpire, will be responsible to the Constitution and also to Nigerians. All right. Even with the Inspector General of Police, it's the same process that should prevail. But I'm surprised that the president is shopping for a new guy. the new person, will he also do what Yakubu did? That's the question. Because at the moment, the credibility of INEC is at the lowest ebb. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that at all. And I've said it not once, not twice, that with each election, there has been lower voter turnout.
Exactly.
What does that tell you? It means that people are losing faith in the electoral process. Whereas the number should rise with each election. Yes. So if you take a vox pop and people want to score the INEC chairman very thoroughly, I'm sure he will score less than 20%.
Exactly. You know, you actually talked about a vox pop. We don't have opinion polls in this country. Because something like what you just suggested, if it gets to the presidency, is very, very workable. Also, how does your postulation become workable in the Nigeria of today?
No, it's simple. It's simple, really. I mean, if you want a clean election, we must strengthen the institution. And what's the institution? INEC. It's supposed to be, and by the way, it's the acronym that we must look at now. Independent. Is INEC truly independent? No. It's not truly independent because it plays to the gallery most of the times, and we have seen it at work. I wish we could talk about the case of Natasha now, for instance.
We'll definitely get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Okay, fine. Yes, but that's what it is. And the INEC chairman must be thoroughly above board. People must look up to him as an exemplar. And there are many Nigerians in this country who can rise above board, who can rise above sentiments. There are many of them. We can pick them from the academia, from the organized private sector. There are people who have paid their dues in this country and who are nationalists in the true sense of that word. They are there. It's just to open our eyes and look at them critically. I don't want to mention it, but let me quickly mention one name perhaps. He's an old man now, he's over 90, I should think. Dr. Christopher Kolade. That's one man who has kept a clean bill of integrity all through. Yes, you can mention him anywhere and people will give him thumbs up. And there are many people like him who can do a thorough job when it comes to the electoral process.
Exactly. Well, still talking about the electoral process, does the name Humphrey Nwosu ring a bell? Let us go to the front page of the Daily Times, where we have fireworks as Senate moves to immortalize Nwosu.
Why must there be fireworks? Means there was a debate or something.
Yes.
So we didn't go into the body of that report, but that's what it portends,
Yes.
really. And why not? Professor Humphrey Nwosu is the man who has organized the most credible election in this country when we use option A4. Even Babangida in his book says so, only recently. And a lot of Nigerians have attested to that. So there's no reason why he should not be put on the pedestal. As a matter of fact, INEC headquarters is being proposed now to be named after Humphrey Nwosu, and that should be a good thing, so that others coming will read it. As they go into their offices, they will see it.
Yes.
You know? And that will tell them that, yes, they need to do it right. And I'm surprised that up to now we are still talking about Humphrey Nwosu. Nothing has been named after him, even when he organized the freest and the most credible election we have had in this country. But how I wish, I'm talking as a person now, that will go back. And if today we say that, yes, it must be immortalized, it means that the election process that he organized must also rise above what we are seeing now. Yeah. What that also means is that we must go back to that kind of option. Yes, that's what it means, because it has given us the best. It was seamless. That's the election that brought out the late Chief M.K. Abiola. It was seamless, less expensive than what we have now, and more reassuring. At the end of the day, they just count people, and no ballot boxes to snatch, no ballot papers to burn, no asking, nothing. You just you go. At the end of the day, they count the numbers, and whoever wins jubilates, and that's the end of the story. Why we are not doing that, I don't know. I think it's deliberately made to shortchange the system. That's why we are going through all this all sort of problems we have had in the last many years.
Well, on the front page of the New Telegraph newspapers, Fubara, PDP governors drag Tinubu National Assembly before Supreme Court.
Well, I'm happy they are doing this because it will be the judiciary on trial, right? A lot of people. Look, even the president's own enclave, I mean, the people from his own
Mm,
enclave,
yeah.
Afenifere, they
Yeah.
have criticized what he did.
Exactly.
Yes.
Mm.
Major, I think about 95% of organizers of activities of nation states in this country, they've gone against this.
Okay.
The NBA has gone against it very strongly.
Mm.
Organized private sector, they've gone against. Even the church has gone against this. So let's see how it plays out. I'm happy that this is going to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court again will be on trial.
Mm.
Let's see how it carries out this onerous responsibility.
All right.
Let's see how it can sustain what people might think to be the fulcrum
Mm.
of a decision that will be taken eventually.
All right, some schools of thought as regards this River State crisis have been able to come out to say that the president's stand is political. And then we now have the issue where even the suspended Speaker of the House of the Rivers State Assembly is coming out to say that the president did the right thing. What's your take on this?
Is that not an irony? Is that not an irony? The guy is speaking from both sides of the mouth. On the one hand, he's saying, oh no, he should not have done this. On the other hand, he's saying that, oh, it's, I mean, that's political, really. It's, and there's no political correctness in that, really. How can you be praising someone you consider to be your enemy? I mean, it's odd. Yes. But a lot of people feel very bad about this. And look at it now. The situation in Rivers, nobody knows how it's going to end.
Exactly.
In the sense that all the structures have been broken down.
Yes.
Yes. The structures, they've been broken down completely. So it's like they are starting afresh, meaning that even the 6 months that the president talked about might not be realistic.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
directly or indirectly, is this a precedence for anarchy?
I won't talk about anarchy because nobody prays for anarchy. Because if anarchy starts in one state, you don't know how it's going to spread. Nobody is talking about anarchy. I think I want to buy into what Governor Diri said
Okay.
of Bayelsa, that there must be, and it happened in South Africa some time ago, when you have a problem such as this, all you need to do is to call for great people of this country so that there can be a reconciliation committee.
Okay.
Members of this reconciliation committee must be those who can tell the president to his face that, Mr. President, what you did is wrong.
Okay.
It's unconstitutional. That's what reconciliation is all about. And then the combatants, Wike, for instance, and the other guy, the governor, must be told in clear terms that the people of Rivers need peace. Yes. What has happened in Rivers is nothing to do with Wike. A lot of people might say that he was the chief instigator. Yes, fair enough. But it's not Wike, excuse me. It's not Fubara either. It's the people. So you can take off from there.
All right. We'll talk. We'll dwell on this. We'll definitely dwell on this. Maybe thoughts and visions of Dr. Emmanuel Egariba, the crisis in Rivers community, in Rivers state.
Yes.
And so we will go down to the next item. It is still talking about the National Assembly as regards Natasha. Yes, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, who is the senator representing Kogi Central. We all know the crisis that she has been going through. First of all, her suspension, and now there is a recall process. And what is INEC doing about it? Let us see what the front page of the New Telegraph is saying about this. We will commence Natasha's recall process. This is coming from INEC. Notifies Kogi senator, begins verification process.
You see, INEC again.
Exactly.
INEC again. They're just going back and forth. I mean, a few days ago, they said, oh, no, the constituents,
Yes.
they did something, a lot of things.
The addresses,
yeah,
there were no
addresses.
addresses.
And you now give them guidelines
Exactly, on how to.
on how to do it. I mean, I've never seen a situation like this in my life. And I can tell you that Natasha will be heading for the court.
Yeah.
Yes, she will do that. She's a lawyer, by the way. And let us see how this also plays out. I mean, here is, again, look at the funny situation. They brought, that was supposed to be authenticated anyway,
Yeah.
what the constituents brought. You went through those papers, those documents, and you discovered that they were not in sync with the norms.
Yes.
They were not in sync with your own provision.
Exactly.
You now told the whole world that, oh no, You should have done it this way. You should have done it that way. How is that done anywhere on this planet? How is that done? If they didn't do it right and they had all the opportunity to do it right anyway, they didn't do it right. That's their problem. It's not Natasha's problem.
Exactly.
No, it's not.
It's like the INEC is now aiding and abetting.
Aiding and abetting.
Okay.
And the court will decide very, very smartly,
Exactly.
I should think. Because Natasha, I'm sure she will have a good lawyer who should be able to argue this.
Yesterday, she actually made a statement yesterday
Yes.
that INEC has compromised.
Yes, of course. That's the same INEC we are talking about. You have said, and it was in the print, it was all over the place, that the people have not met the conditions based on what they saw on the documents.
Exactly.
Yes, forwarded to INEC. And then you are coming back again now, having now doctored, whatever it is. You are coming back now to say you are going to give the paper to Akpabio and the young woman. So it's a very funny thing. I mean, I feel that INEC should be disbanded, quite frankly. It should be disbanded.
Is it the name? Is it the name that is the problem, or the individuals who
the individuals? That's
yes.
what I'm saying.
Yes.
It should be disbanded from top to the bottom.
Okay.
Yes, the management of elections. It should be disbanded. A lot of people have said this. Why should we see? Look at what has happened now in Kogi State.
Exactly.
Just look at it.
Exactly.
A 100 student of law will tell you that what INEC has done is wrong, patently wrong. And yet we have that as the electoral body. That is why I think that, to remove the whole thing from Odium, the president is saying, no, he's shopping for a new INEC chairman,
Exactly.
in readiness for 2027. But how good will that person be? Will it be better? Will it even be worse than Yakubu?
Still coming from the presidency, because then he who pays the piper dictates the tune. Exactly. Well, we've also forgotten, because we're just looking at one side of the Natasha case. Nobody has remembered that the Senate flouted a Supreme Court order.
It was not the first time. It was not the first time. I mean, it's a situation of lawlessness. It was not. I mean, people just flout orders because the reason is the judiciary has not been strengthened properly as an institution. Yes. Look, during the military, the judiciary stood its ground against certain orders of the military. Not alone now when we are civilians.
Yes.
So what's the problem? I just think that, yes, judiciary has a lot of hurdles to cross, obviously, because many people in this country are losing faith in the judicial process, and that is not something that we pray for to be sustained. Yes.
Well, talking about the judicial system, there is another issue that has been actually trending as the case may be. This issue of the immunity clause. On the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, reps move to strip vice president, governors, deputy governors of immunity. Constitutional Amendment Bill 6 role for traditional rulers.
Before now, who were those affected by the immunity clause? The president, the vice president, the governor, and of course the deputy governor.
Yes.
How many people are affected now?
About 3 of them.
So, why can't they go the whole hog?
Okay.
Because you see, the danger really is, if this is passed into law before 2027, it means that the vice president will be on edge. That's what it means. I mean, simple logic. It will be on edge, because what that means is that, yes, it will no longer be covered by immunity clause.
Exactly.
All right.
Yes.
So the president will be the only person remaining of the 4. The president, the vice president, the governor, and the deputy governor. You remember, I asked Barrister Bayiwana this question when he came here for a program, and he said, yes, it's a good thing, except that it will disrupt governance. Okay. But that is neither here nor there, I think, because he also said that as long as they behave properly, then the immunity clause should prevail. All right? If they don't behave properly, if they don't adhere to the rules of good governance, then we should have the immunity clause. All right? That's what he said. And I think on that score, I should agree with him.
All right. And then, groups, there's been this talk about coalition. But much as it is a surprise, not just to me, but some other individuals, that in 2025, the goals that were outlined for 2023 have not been met. But then campaigns have already started for 2027. And we're not even talking about coalition. The front page of the Punch newspaper says that 91 groups seek INEC registration as coalition talks gather steam.
Well, free expression is part of it. Free association is part of it. These are constitutional rights. No matter how many parties we have, how does that bother INEC? No, I don't understand. How does that bother INEC? Because at the end of the day, some of them will just fizzle out on their own.
Exactly.
Okay? But they are looking at the cost. Primarily, INEC is looking at the cost. You know, the ballot paper will be so long, it will be very lengthy when you have up to 50 or 60 there. But this is democracy. Even in the United States that we talk about, in the United States, do you know we have other parties other than just the Republican and the Democratic Party? Yes, yes. But they are silent. Yes. And the Constitution provides that, yes, they should be given opportunities to express their willingness and viability. That's important. So, but, well, again, I agree that they must be brought to a manageable level.
Okay.
If, and in any case, the parties that we have now, what are their ideologies? Yes, they are neither here nor there.
That's true.
You know, two sides of the same coin, probably. Right. So, but to register parties, we must look at the ideology first of all, and they must be able to abide by what they believe in. And I think that this is an opportunity for us to go back to the drawing board and see whether some of those parties can meet the expectations of the people. I mean, the arbiter really would be the people. Yes. If you consistently lose elections, chances are they are going to align with some other bigger parties. I mean, just common sense, by the way, who have the same ideology with you. That's why the issue of ideology is very important. Okay? If you are leftist, you are leftist. If you're on the right, you're on the right. If you're in the middle, people will know you as the middle course party. Yes, that's what I mean.
Well, still remembering Humphrey Wonsu, do you think that the Constitution will support a two-party system like it did during his time?
Well, it happens elsewhere, to start with. Two-party system, fair enough, a little to the right. I think Babangida did that, a little to the right and a little to the left. It's either you're progressive or what's the other one now, or whatever. So we could do that.
Okay.
And there are many parties that are pro-right. There are many parties that will be pro-left.
Pro-left, definitely.
Okay, so what we are saying in effect is that, yes, a two-party system might just be okay for this country, but I would suggest that we raise it up to about 5. I mean, the Second Republic, for instance, we had about 5, and it was very robust. We had MPN, we had UPN, we had PP, and 2 others. Very robust. And look at their heads. Zikiwe was there, Awolowo was there, Waziri was there, Aminu Kano was there, and these were seasoned people. And they went about politicking with a lot of finesse, and we all enjoyed it. If we raise it up to 5, yes, with different ideologies, that's what I'm talking about now. Oh, that would be the most wonderful thing for this country. Yes.
Well, thank you very much. Viewers out there, you especially, just watching presently, I want to say a very, very big thank you. If not for you, we will not be here. Like I would always say, please remember to tell your friends and family about Providence Television. But us is the norm. The CEO of Providence Television International has a parting shot.
Well, the parting shot today will be that we'll be expecting the panel for Edo State, for instance, to give their judgment. They've not given a date, really.
Yes.
But everybody is looking forward to that. Again, the judiciary will be on trial.
Yes.
Right. Let us see how they will do it, and let us see if they will do it right. Members of both parties are looking forward to this with a lot of enthusiasm. I mean, the judiciary is in the middle. Okay? So we're looking forward to that. But I'm happy that even now, there's relative peace in Edo State. There's no doubt about that, except that we're having cases of kidnapping on the rise. I hope what I'm saying is not even a contradiction, because Edo South is relatively peaceful in some local governments. Those central areas in some areas, but looking at the totality of the state, I would say that the Commissioner of Police should up our game to be sure that we don't have kidnappings any longer as a daily occurrence.
As a daily occurrence.
Yes, that's my take.
And just it was in the news, Providence Television International, during News on the Hour, will keep you updated. The priest that was kidnapped just some time ago has been released.
Good.
Yes, he has. I saw it. There's a headline news.
Good. Very good.
And so we'll keep you informed. On this note, I want to say thanks very much for watching. Please stay tuned.